Welcome back, wild ones. Let's talk spinal health for babies.
Find me where the wild things are.
Just to prepare you now, if you post a photo on your social media of you getting your baby or toddler adjusted, prepare for an influx of less than supportive comments. I'm not saying that everyone's going to think this is a bad idea, because a lot of people with their own experience with chiropractic care are very supportive because they know how amazing it can be in the maintenance of your well-being. But those who aren't so sure about chiropractic care just see a tiny little baby getting their spine manipulated and feeling a lot of concern. I'm sure this is out of a place of love, but it is also out of a place of ignorance on the subject. Chiropractic care can be very beneficial for babies as young as newborns to older kids, obviously, as well as adults, in helping with the growth period. While your baby is still in the newborn stage, chiropractic care can help with things like earaches, ear infections, colic, silent reflux, acid reflux, and sleep disturbances, among many other things. If you have a buildup of sinus pressure, or your child is having a runny nose and that sort of a cold thing, they can even adjust the sinus cavity. Don't be afraid, because when you think of a chiropractic adjustment, you think of how it's done for adults. You think of a lot of cracking and neck snapping, and even for me, this is a little cringeworthy. But for babies and toddlers, they use a little device called an activator. So this activator, if it is pressed into your palm, feels like nothing more than a pen click. It exerts very little pressure. It is not at all uncomfortable. It is not painful. And this is simply used on certain areas of the spine and neck column in adjusting certain areas that have become tense or out of place. So, for example, during the birthing process, as much as 60 to 90 pounds of pressure can be put on the spinal column during vaginal delivery. This, of course, is going to do something to a newborn's spinal system and nerves. So it is a very good idea to get these little adjustments. And these are minor adjustments, and they're very gentle, and they're not painful, which I think for a lot of parents is the fear. So we've been taking my daughter since she was 9 weeks old. I would have taken her even earlier, but I was on ice till then. So we started taking her at 9 weeks when she was just a little squish. And she really never cried at these things. I think the first time we took her in, she may have cried because she did not like being put on her belly in any situation. She never liked tummy time at that age. You know, when they're not holding their neck up on their own yet, they really don't enjoy tummy time. That's normal. So when I tried to flip her onto her tummy so that the doctor could look at her back, she wasn't too fond of that. But the activator never made her cry. The manipulation never made her cry. She's never been in any pain in this situation. And the parents are always with the child. You know, you always go back with them. You're there to hold a hand, sing a song, whatever you need to do. But usually for an infant or a young child, they're in and out in less than 5 minutes. Their spine's only this big. So it doesn't take long at all. No x-rays are needed. No physical manual manipulation is really needed, and that depends on your chiropractor of choice. But typically speaking, for a small child, they will use the silver activator. So what's important is finding a chiropractor you trust. You can find suggestions on local Facebook groups. Usually you can find natural health Facebook groups in your area, Crunchy Moms, things like that, and they can offer you suggestions of chiropractors that they've really enjoyed. So give one a test, and you know, if you don't like them, there's a million other chiropractor fish in the pond, so you can try another one. But when you find one, stick with one you really like and you can build up a relationship. They get to know your child's individual spine and their activity level. Ours, for example, got to know that mine did a lot of falling on her tailbone, and she got to know that my child had a certain area ever since her first visit. She noticed that there was a certain area that always had a tendency to shift out of place. And so that was something that she always consistently checked and worked on. And we loved our chiropractor where we lived. She was just amazing. They even had a little play area for kiddos to wait and play in. And a lot of chiropractic offices also will have a certain stance on vaccinations. And so you can kind of get a feel for some of those type of doctors to see, does that doctor align with your values or not? So now that we have moved, we have recently found a new chiropractor, and he's very good as well. Usually ones that often care for children tend to be very good with the children. They're used to it, or they have children of their own. And that was a real test for me, was when I first called our first chiropractor. I asked if she ever worked on children, and she said that yes, they absolutely work on children, and she even does adjustments for her own son. So that was a real encouragement to me, that if she believes in it enough and trusts her own practice enough to do this with her own child, then that made me very comfortable. Some tips that I would like to offer if you have a toddler or young baby going to chiropractor visits that are unsettled or too busy, wanting to not sit still on the table, things like that. Number one is to, as I said before, find yourself a great chiropractor that knows how to work with babies and young children, and they often can deal with some of these issues all by themselves without the help of mom or dad. Number two, I recommend singing a very familiar song with baby while they get adjusted. Like I said, the adjustment only takes a minute or two, so that's a perfect time to sing Twinkle Twinkle or something to distract them. Number three would be to bring a favorite toy, or maybe even a toy they haven't seen in a while, especially if they're at the age of being grabby. When you lay them on their tummy, you can put a toy right in front of them and they can kind of just reach for the toy, grab at it, that sort of thing, while the back is being manipulated. Lastly, look into the benefits of chiropractic care yourself. They say that chiropractic care is a system of caring for your wellness, whereas Western medicine and your typical doctor setting is a system of caring for illness that's already underway. Chiropractic care can keep you well. I recommend that you give chiropractic care a try. I think that you will enjoy what I did the most, which was the improved sleep your child gets, especially right after the adjustment. When my child was a newborn, she pretty much never even made it home and fell asleep in the car seat, which was something that never happened otherwise. Otherwise, when we got home, she takes a nap and she crashes out for an extra long time after her adjustment. So I hope that this helps you and gives you some idea if you've been a little bit unsure about chiropractic care. If you're not sure that it's safe for babies and children, do your own research. Check out also testimonials of other children who have had chiropractic care. Then you will know if it's the right decision for you and your family or not. But try not to be closed-minded. I know it is scary, and that is normal for any parent to be cautious about anything to do with your child's spine. But try to at least have an open mind and be willing to look into new things, especially if it may improve your life and send you on to even better, more improved health. Until next time.